You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's America's Best Dance Crew After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Best Dance Crew After Show.
Hey guys, what is happening? J.LO night for America's Best Dance Crew, and in celebration of her booty, all of us are together for the first time.
Yeah!
It's been a long time since all of us have been here.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
You were in Miami.
Nicolette.
Yeah.
And the first week, Sarah was not here.
Yeah.
So. But let's introduce everybody. Let's go around the table. Across the street from me, we've got the lovely Sarah Mendoza.
Hello,
everybody.
And Nicolette Gaona.
Hi, everyone.
It was our birthday
Glad
last
to be
And it was her
back.
birthday last
Happy
week.
birthday!
I'm legal.
A little tan thanks to
drink.
Miami, right?
Yes, I got a little bronze on.
A little bronze going on. And sitting next to me, the lovely Ashley Gray.
Hello, guys.
And I am Dave Klein, also B-Boy Sly. And in the booth this week, we have Ronnie J.R. Jr.
What's up, you guys? Listen, I am like
Ronnie boy.
really obsessed with this episode. I'm a huge J.Lo fan. And also, like, Marissa, what she edited as far as you guys going to the set. And
It's the music, right?
what
The
you talking
music
about?
that you're a fan of, right?
I mean, I'm just saying, because Ashley pumps the electrolytes
Oh,
so
yeah.
much,
Oh, yeah.
I'm now into the fact that they performed Get Right, which is a great song. I'm just, you know,
amazing
you
song.
guys, your AfterBuzz does such a good job that I'm like into it. Anyway,
I'm so
back to-
glad we're
Oh,
here.
thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I wish that they danced to Anaconda or Geely or something like that. Those are her movies. I'm just putting that out there for those who didn't get it.
I know.
Those were her movies.
I was like, I don't know.
All right.
Me either.
Okay, for those who didn't get that, she also does movies. Anaconda. Okay.
Anaconda.
really in that?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. With that. No, okay.
Okay, so let's jump forward to the first crew of the night, 8 Flavas dancing to "Let's Get Love." Their
Loud.
challenge was
loud. Let's
Loud.
get loud.
Let's get
Let's
loud.
get
The only
loud.
reason I know that's one of my favorite salsa dance song ever.
and so then you will be the first to talk about it.
Let's go.
So Nicolette, take us off with the salsa and 8 Flavas.
First of all, I love the song Let's Get Loud, so I was all of a sudden was just like, you know what, these girls better kill it. And they definitely did with the flips and all. I'm obsessed with neon right now, so their outfits were just simply amazing with the
Superb.
colors. And I really like them a lot. I definitely feel like there was other crews that were better, you know, but I love the little routine, and they always come out with the flips and all that cheerleader kind of get up, you know what I'm saying? But I like them a lot.
Yeah.
The song made it a lot better.
Yes, I love these little ladies. They are fierce. They brought it. They come out there with the attitude, and they have the dance moves to back it up. I absolutely love them. They were actually one of my favorite crews this episode. So we'll see how they do next week.
Yeah.
Mendoza.
I wrote down 3 words here: salsa, saxophones, and sex appeal.
Oh!
All S's. Sarah.
The triple S going on.
Quadruple, because it's Sarah that's giving this right now.
Whoa.
No, but,
A lot of S's.
To add to what you guys said, I thought they were great. I liked the way that they incorporated the saxophones into their performance.
Yes,
and that
that
was
was
their
cute.
challenge, right? Was
Yeah.
Yeah, to incorporate.
the props. So they use it in the performance. Favorite moment was when she did the leg extension
The
up
kick,
yes.
while she was pretending to blow the saxophone.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
You can't probably see my notes, but I actually drew a picture of that because I wanted to make sure I
see. Oh
commented
my
on it. I just wanted to make sure I commented on it because I liked it that much. I was like, it's like a
You guys gotta see this picture of this girl with this
She's
out.
bald,
and
David.
she's got the saxophone.
hair.
Look, it was
Please draw her a piece of hair.
it was
Yeah.
it was dark, okay?
We have hair.
But I do agree with you, Sarah. I think it was a great use of the props overall. Something that was pointed out by the judges was the walking hand hops with the splits and the spinning and how it kind of worked with the salsa movement. That was really cool to see. I think overall what I could say about this is I just thought it was the whole time it just seemed like they were having fun. That was the main thing I thought this was a fun performance. And actually I think my favorite moment was one of the girls, and I think they all did it, but it was a focus on one of the girls, the little cat moment.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, it was just fun to me. I don't know.
So cute. It's fresh.
Yeah, it was cute. It was fun, but it also worked with the whole thing they were doing. And it was almost like, you kind of remind you that they are girls because they were doing so many sexy moves, and they're all like 12 years old.
Yeah.
But I feel like they stick to their age. You know
I
what
think
I mean?
so,
And I
too.
think they really keep it real cute instead of sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too much.
Exactly.
It's
It's just their age. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
That's why I love them. They're like I want them all to be my little sisters.
Because they
I'm
can be
you
like
guys are so cute.
sassy enough for
Yeah.
their age
Yeah.
too, you know, so they're a lot more sassy.
And
Yeah.
that's what the Step Boys were saying last week when they were in studio with us, that they're like their little sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I'd
all so
hope so.
adorable. Yeah.
And you know what? I was thinking about too, to think that they mustered all that energy for this performance in the midst of that tragedy that's going on with Angel's
right.
mom passing away.
That's crazy.
And she's still there. She was in the audience watching
Right.
during the performance, and you wouldn't have guessed that they're going
They're going through
this
such a
crazy
Yes.
time right now.
Yeah. Something else I want to point out too, just with their whole dancing, you can kind of see the cheerleading background that they had talked about, because with the whole back handspring, it really reminded me of that element, because they were all doing back handsprings, which is very cheerleading. It's not that you can't use it for anything else, but it is. But it
Yeah.
was cool, and they did
Right.
it. They did a good job with it. A lot of the formations they used too reminded me of cheerleading,
Yeah,
and
a
I
lot
wanted
of
to
it did.
throw that out there.
I like that. I love that aspect though, because I know I used to be a cheerleader in high school, and in our routines we would incorporate dancing and not only cheerleading poses and things like that. So when I look at them, I see that they have that cheerleading background and they're incorporating the dances, they're fusing them together. So I love it. They're bomb. Love
Right.
them.
No, nothing wrong with it at all. I was just pointing
Yeah,
out.
I know how you are, Dave. With 8 flavors.
There's only one dance they had I didn't like that much. Okay, but let's move on to Most Wanted Crew. So Most Wanted Crew, I guess, since their thing they were supposed to do, their challenge was to be on the floor, or their song was on the floor, so it was a lot of on the floor stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this one first, because being a b-boy, I figure I should.
B-boy Dave. B-boy Sly.
Thank you. Yeah, b-boy Sly. So I don't know why JC called it a flip that they did at the beginning. It wasn't a flip. It's called a butterfly kick, which there's no flipping involved in it. I don't think he even did a B spin. I think it was just a kick. Correct me if I'm
JC,
wrong.
Dave.
You tell him,
That's
Dave.
right, JC. Come on, man. It was a butterfly kick, or possibly a spin, but I didn't see it. They did a lot of really cool back rocking, which is when you're on the floor with your back. I kind of wanted to see a little more footwork with them for the whole theme, which is the actual breaking element of footwork. Is when you have back rocking too, but they did mainly back rocking. But it was cool. They did a lot of good formations. They had the cool top camera down on them, which looked really good. There's a little bit of breaking elements in there with the footwork where they did the Zulu spin. It was really quick. You'd really have to be watching to see it. That's kind of when you're on your feet with 4 hands, and then you do a little spin around. So, I don't know. It's hard to show unless I were to get on the ground and do it. But it's
Do it,
one of the
Dave.
things
Get
I
on the
did was
ground and
Zulu
do
spin.
it. Go do it.
Maybe I will a little later. But yeah, so it was cool to see the Zulu spin. So a little bit of that elements that I liked. I wasn't, like JC said, he wasn't blown away by them. I wasn't blown away by them either, but I did like it. I thought it was good. I just think it could have been better. What'd you guys think?
I liked it. I thought they did a really good job. And the thing that the judges pointed out that I agree with is they did a lot better with incorporating their challenge for this week, which was the floor work and
Yeah.
the footwork. Not only did they do floor work, but they did the footwork too, which is kind of like floor work, I guess. Something that I wanted to mention, for those of you who didn't see our video online, we were actually on set during the taping on Friday, and what was cool about their performance is they actually got the audience involved, and they didn't show it so much in the cut for
That's the
today's
best thing
episode.
that they were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sort of like a
And
flash mob.
the
scoop in the ice
scoop
Oh
cream.
in
yeah,
the
the
ice
scoop in the ice
cream.
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 Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they didn't show any of that. They were
didn't
teaching
sh-
everybody the moves they wanted
They
to
did
do.
it for 1 second in tonight's episode.
And then, yeah.
But it was just this fun, big thing, like, while we were on set. So I just wanted to
that's so
point that out, that they
cute.
got the audience involved.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it
have
just
it.
didn't look good or something. They didn't want
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
really. I didn't even notice during the watching. I completely forgotten about that. And
Yeah.
you're right. I totally forgot about that because during the performance you just didn't see it.
Yeah, they
well, I
didn't
saw
really
them do
include
the
it.
little
Like
thing.
there was one.
Yeah,
thing
and then
that
you
Yeah.
saw the people in the crowd. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
that in my notes, the crowd interaction. I really love that. So,
Well,
Maybe I'm just blind. I
yeah.
guess. I didn't notice it.
You were analyzing the breaker.
Yeah,
moves, what you were
exactly. I was
doing.
like, I just want to see the floor work. That's all.
You're so technical.
They
It's a
had-
good thing,
they
though.
had some
Very
fast
technical.
footwork though. In
They
this
did.
performance.
Yeah.
I just really like their outfits. Who doesn't like a man in
Oh,
like
that
a work outfit?
yeah, that is really cute.
It was
Very
really hot.
sexy.
I'm gonna try and do some
So
of that
did
footwork
I.
later. Oh, damn.
I feel like Dave has to go through this every after show.
Every after show.
we say
That's
something
why
about
there needs to be one guy here to offset it.
Yeah, well, that's all
more
I had to
guys
say about
here.
that one.
All right, well then let's move on to electrolytes.
Awesome.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
Best, I think they were the best crew of the night, and I think everyone agreed because we were trying to keep our notes to ourselves, and we always do, so we can have the discussion here. But everyone was like,
Yeah.
"That was so good. That was so amazing." Do you want to take this off, Sarah?
Electrifying electrolytes. No, they were really good. So their challenge was to create a scene in which they look like they're in a moving subway car, and they did it in a way that I didn't think they would do it. Because I was envisioning like they're gonna build a car and the car is moving, but what they did is they took the movements and they pretended to be the characters in the subway car, and they were showing like turbulence as they're riding.
Yeah, they
in
had
it.
different levels, which was really, really cool. And
Yeah.
the whole dance routine was very athletic. And then I really loved aesthetically the different levels that they had. So
Right.
it was really cool. And then them having the main character who was dressed in the suit. So it was
Yeah.
really cool. I really loved it.
They did a really good job building the scene.
Yeah.
They had, I think his name
agree.
was Ben as the businessman.
Yeah.
And he was doing all kinds of stuff with the people around him. My most favorite part was the fight scene, and they mentioned
Yeah.
it too, because it did show athleticism,
Yes.
and it was so intricate and choreographed, and you can just tell that these guys are strong. They've got strength in their dancing.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but when he pulled that was a police badge. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was supposed to be. And that
Yeah.
was right before the fighting happened, so I
Right.
think that was supposed to be like the
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it was so
Yeah.
cool because they all stayed in character, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like they're dancing, but they're like dancing out these specific parts. But it was cool. I was impressed.
Right.
Yeah, I really liked the twirl, like how he started off doing the ballerina, like the
Yeah.
little twirl. I thought he really pulled that
Yeah.
off really well.
Yeah.
As well, I think they did the challenge great, just as you guys said. They weren't my favorite, but they did a really great job.
I thought, well, they were my favorite. They were my favorite of the night.
Yeah.
But I thought pretty much the choreo was great. There were so many different things happening all the time. The only thing I will say is when it first started and he flicked the coin at the guy was supposed to be homeless, or the beggar. Maybe he has a home he's begging anyways. I don't know. And when he flicked the coin at the guy, I thought that they were going to be walking up to the subway. I thought that was the point that they were trying to make. So it took me a while to get like, okay, I guess this is all supposed to be happening on a subway that is obviously a very wide subway for all this to be going on. But all the elements they had though were really cool and really within the routine, like the wall flip off the bench. It was just built
right.
in.
Oh, yeah.
So that was great, and the fact that it wasn't something that just felt out of place. It felt in place.
Everything
It felt like
felt
it
natural.
felt like it belonged there. Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt very natural. All the fighting choreo they had and the stunts were great. Like a lot of backflip falls, and the fact that the guys were pulling off those backflips and making it look like they were being hit, and they weren't landing the flips. They were doing it in ways where you're not landing the flip. That's hard and that's scary for a lot of people to do
Yeah.
it that way, because that's not a straight up backflip where you
Right.
want to land a flip if you're doing it, because you're in the hair and your head's going over. So the fact that
Right.
they weren't makes it even more difficult, and even cooler that they were pulling those off.
Right.
So that was great to see.
And they had so much flipping and stuff like that, but they didn't lose the dancing. You would think with so many, flips and all of these stunts that you would lose some dancing, and they didn't. So that was
Right.
really cool.
Yeah, it was great. And before we go on to the next crew, I should point out that all of us do this show completely for free. And we would love your support in any way possible. So whether that be going to iTunes, because the show you can, for some of you watch on YouTube, some of you watch it live, some of you listen on iTunes. You can comment on iTunes, you can comment on YouTube. Please rate us, please comment. We love reading your comments. We love giving you guys shout outs if we can and responding to you guys. For example, Watchtower.
Shout out to Adrian.
Shout out to Adrian
Adrian.
of
Hi,
Watchtower Base, who is
Adrian.
watching right now. And I'm sure if you're watching the live chat, you're interacting with him right now. Am I right? So, for example, we love to talk to you guys. We love hearing from you guys. And the other thing you can do is go to our website, AfterBuzzTV.com. There's an Amazon link on the top right corner. If you click on that link, you can buy whatever the hell you're going to buy in the first place at no added charge. All you have to do is click on our link, and that will help support us. You don't even have to pay any extra money. Just buy whatever the hell you're going to buy. So if you want some sweet America's Best Dance Crew apparel, or some sweet swag that looks like you could wear.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Sunday. Let's go buy something on Amazon.
So, exactly. Good point.
For
Some
your
Mother's
mama.
Day.
For your mama.
For your mama. I'm trying to remember the Scissor Sister song. That's the only thing about it.
Sister. Never mind. I got too excited there.
Yeah, please click on our link if you're going to go to Amazon, because there's really nothing you have to do other than go to our site and click on that link.
Yay.
So, with that said, let us move on to the bottom 3 of the week. The bottom 3 we found out were Collision Crew, Fanny Pack, and Rated Next Generation because of your guys' lack of votes. That is who we saw. So, the first one is who I had the pleasure of getting to talk to on Friday, Collision Crew. If you guys go check out our video, you can watch a little bit of that. They were really cool guys. And I was excited because from talking to them and then from seeing on the show, they were telling me that their whole thing was going to be the foundations of hip-hop. And being a b-boy, that is all about the foundations, which is popping, locking, and breaking. So I'll go ahead and talk about this first, if you guys don't mind, just because it's a foundation crew,
Go
or
right
they were doing
ahead,
foundations.
baby.
You saw during the intro, they were trying to, I don't know if you guys know what the move is that during that little build-up, but they were trying to do a windmill, and they couldn't do it, which is a little sad that they weren't able to do the windmill, which it's difficult if you're not a breaker. It does take a while to get, so I wouldn't expect somebody to get in a week. I mean, I really wouldn't. If you could get in a week.
breaking crew?
No, I don't think they're a breaking crew, but sometimes they have breaking elements in their stuff, but I've never really seen power, and this would be the power element of breakdancing, which are usually moves that take a long-ass time to get, like months to years to get some of these moves down.
Oh, wow.
So the fact that they couldn't get a windmill in a week, I'm not going to hold it against them. But I will say I was a little sad that since they were supposed to do b-boying, that there was no power, which is a big element of b-boying. I didn't see any backspins, which is a very easy breakdance move, which is very old school. The oldest school of breaking you can get is a backspin. That's considered to be the main old school, and I didn't see that in the dance, which I was a little sad to see. But they did incorporate locking pretty well. They had footwork. They had b-boy tops, which is when you're up top dancing. They had that element. And as was pointed out, they had the knee moonwalk, which was really, I actually didn't even realize it was a moonwalk until it was pointed out. But it was a knee moonwalk. And some other b-boy elements they had were they had a hollow back, which is where the guy was up in a handstand. And I'm going to try and do this. It'll be hard for iTunes listeners, but what they did was he arches your legs over behind you when you're doing a handstand. And the guy caught him. And that kind of detracted from the hollow back for me, because what I'm used to seeing as a b-boy is people do that without needing to be held. They do the craziest, lowest hollow backs you'll ever see, but that's what the guy was doing for his handstand, was a hollow back, which is a breaker move. So they were definitely throwing it in. Because for me, the breaking elements weren't as strong as I would have liked as a breaker. Like, if you get the challenge of doing breaking, to me, you better do that damn breaking, because you're talking me. But other than that, I did like seeing all the elements thrown in.
I feel like the performance was it was nothing special. It was nothing to make me feel like, okay, they definitely needed to stay. That's how I definitely felt about that. They definitely had the b-boy swag, though. They had, like, the hats with the Adidas, they definitely had the style, but the performance to me just wasn't special and wasn't enough for me to be like, they need to stay.
Well, talking about that moonwalk, going back to that, Dave, knowing that Kenny, who he has the sickle cell anemia, that's crazy for him to be able to do that, having that. And I believe that's why he couldn't do the windmill. It's because it was just too hard for him.
Well, I don't think it was that guy specifically. You could have had another person in the crew, because you have a whole crew. You could have had 2 people doing windmills, or one person doing a windmill, and get out of the way and incorporate into the choreo, that they get out of the way for someone to do a windmill or move forward. And that's not the only power move, though. There's windmills, there's flares, there's head spins, there's...
Here we go.
Dave is intense about it. He is going in on Collision right now. Like, look, you should have... Well, I get that. I get that.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah, I believe that he had that they had crazy energy and...
I mean, look, power is really difficult, like I said. And the fact that they didn't do it, I'm not holding it too hard against them, because it takes a long time to get power down. It's hard to get that stuff, and you're not going to get it in a week. If you could... You would blow my mind. If you can get these moves in a week, you should become a professional breaker, really, if you can get these moves in a week. So I'm not holding that too hard against them, but I would have seen some more intricate footwork. I mean, they did some Zulu spins, too, which the other crew did. So they did do some cool b-boy stuff, but it wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
I feel
B-boy-wise.
I'm with you on that. Definitely.
Sarah, what did you think?
Mendoza.
I pretty much agree with all of you guys. They were good, but not good in comparison to the other crews.
I know. I'm ready to talk about the other ones.
Nicolette's
Okay.
ready to move on. Yeah, so for me, like, if I had to pick the bottom, it would have been them for this week.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've thought they've had stronger performances. But let's move on then to RNG, Rated Next Generation. Nicolette, since you were so ready to move on,
Let's go
would
on
you
to
like
this
to
one.
start us off with our party scene of the 90s?
You know, actually, I really enjoyed the performance. I mean, every moment was a great moment. I don't remember them from, I mean, it was a while since I've watched a couple of the episodes, so I don't really remember them, even if I don't even think I saw them maybe. I don't know. Anyways, they blew my mind. I really loved their outfits. I loved their energy. I mean, they did all the old school dances, which I loved, and I loved how they did the Slater thing. You know, that was really cute.
Yeah.
I really, really liked them a lot. I like them.
I love their kid and play move. I'm the girl trying to do that at the bar. Like, somebody come do it with me. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I could totally see that, actually.
And their alpha kick, talk about strength, Dave. That takes a lot of strength, the alpha kick that they incorporate into their performance.
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to point out that I really didn't like, I'm not the best dancer out there, of course, but I don't think their arms were that tight at the beginning when they were just like shooting it out, and then the one girl, it zoned in on just the one girl, and so it was her arms that I really like zoned in on, and I don't think that her arms were as tight either. So that's the only thing. I thought it was a little bit sloppy, but overall I thought they were great. It was a really great performance.
I just like how they actually were able to channel like the 90s era from like
Right.
the outfits to the frizzy like weird hair, not weird, but like the frizzy 90s hair.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like they look like it was J.Lo on Fly Girls.
Yeah, and they're so young. They were like, we don't know what this is.
And then they did it.
They killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. Awesome. They did good.
I wanted the Fresh Prince to come out of nowhere and start doing his stupid dance. Which is where you just look really stupid with your face while you're doing everything with your arms.
Yeah.
Watch some Fresh Prince and get learned.
Teach us, Dave.
Yeah, so it's a little harder for me to watch this one because I really don't know 90s dance styles that well, because more of what I do is general hip hop styles. So for me, I didn't know necessarily if like, oh, what they're doing is really good for the style or not. So I can point out like, hey, it looked good to me. It looked like they were constantly changing what they were doing. So they were hitting a lot of different moves from that era, which is funny because I grew up in the 90s. So you think I would really know this.
Right.
But as AC Slater and Saved by the Bell, which
Oh,
was
I
a fun
was
shout out
obsessed.
that they
I
said
was
that.
obsessed.
Yeah,
with
and
that
I liked it that not Slater.
Mario
Mario.
did it.
Mario
Mario, he
Lopez.
started
Mario started
getting
dancing.
Yeah,
down on the
that
dance floor. I was like, ooh.
That was awesome. What I will point out, though, the one b-boy element they threw in was the worm, which isn't, it's like a very, if you tell a b-boy I can do the worm, he's going to be like,
Yeah, I was
don't-
going to say, is that even a b-boy move, the worm?
It is considered one, but it's one that's like looked down on because everybody's.
It's like
took it as,
elementary.
like- it's elementary, but it's also something where like back when it first started, people were like, "Look at me, I can do this." So it kind of
Like
became
that?
like real. Yeah,
Can
exactly.
you do the worm, Dave? Can you do the worm?
Look at me, I can do it.
Of course we can
Oh
do
yeah, I
it.
can do the worm. But I mean, it's just something that
Table right here.
it's one of those things
Do
that
it right here.
it's one of those things that
Yeah.
when people say like, "Oh, I can breakdance," when they can't breakdance, they'd be like, "I can do the worm. Of course, I can breakdance." So
Oh, I know exactly
that's why
what
it's
you
kind of.
mean,
But
yeah.
it is a '90s thing, so they incorporated that through them, which makes sense there. So it's fine. It was fun to me, like I said, to see all the different styles. They kept on changing things up, which was very cool. So let's move on to Fanny Pack,
Fanny
our returning
Pack.
crew.
I got to interview them on Friday.
Yeah, why don't
How
you tell us
fun.
about
Yeah,
that?
I thought they were really great tonight. Let me just first say that. And it's funny because when I was talking to them, I was talking to them about their fashion sense. I was like, you guys
Oh.
are always like unique.
Amazing.
You bring a unique
Oh, yeah.
edge to your getup when you're performing. And then that's what their challenge was about this week. They actually had to change clothes, change outfits within the performance. And I thought they did it really cool. They had like people tearing off clothing from like both sides of the person and
That's so interesting that you say that, because when they first came out on to perform, I'm like, Fanny Pack, why do you have on this gray? This is not like, I did not even, I'm like, why? This is not like them. Like, ew.
Yeah.
And then they started stripping, and I'm like, there's some color. And I was like, so then it was, I was like, wow.
Didn't
I was
strip
impressed.
far enough for me. No.
like Little Mama said, it was robot to rainbow. They
Robot
started
to
out
rainbow.
in
Yeah.
their drab
The way-
clothing.
Yeah, the way I kind of seemed it was like very futuristic to now. You know what I'm saying? With the different styles, and I
Right.
really loved how they came out and they did like the, what is it, the, not the choreography, but how they had the isolate, was it isolations? What did you call that, isolations? But it's kind of like,
They were doing the. I
Yeah,
would call it they're
was
kind of
it
doing
the-
the robot in a way. They were
Was
doing
it
the
the
robot. They were
robot?
doing some popping in a
Well,
way.
I
do you know
Isolation.
what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about. They had different dimensions within
Yes,
their
formation.
yeah.
No, I mean I know what you're saying.
Formation, yeah,
The
formation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind me, I don't know.
I know what
the-
you're saying, girl. I know
Okay.
what you're
No,
saying.
I get what you're saying. I got you. I got you.
Thanks, guys. Having my back.
Yeah, so I thought that it was a fun dance. I actually liked the robot stuff they were doing at the beginning the most. That was my favorite part.
Same.
And I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if it was like, it almost kind of took away a little bit, but it was funny to me when the guy started doing that.
Yeah.
Which it was funny,
And
but
that's when the colors started
right.
coming.
But I mean, that's when the colors started. But at the same time, they kind of stopped dancing completely for a bit before he did that. There's a little moment of a
Okay.
pause
That's
to me before he got into
yeah,
that.
and that's what threw me off a little bit because I felt like after the lift is when they started dancing and when the energy increased, and then before it was kind of
Well, I mean,
like the robotic.
Well, I mean, I like the robotic stuff. I actually thought that was cool dancing. I like what they were doing with that. It just
Mm-hmm.
seemed like in between there's a bit of a pause. It wasn't as fluid of a transition as I
Yeah.
would have liked it for that specific thing.
Like, it was too much of a hard break. you
Yeah,
mean?
it was like
Yeah.
too much of a hard break, and it was also as they were getting into that formation of him doing the clapping. I mean, it looked like they weren't dancing at all. They were
yeah,
just
that's
getting
what
into
I
waiting
mean.
for him,
Yeah,
watching him
there
to
was
do that.
yeah.
Which the clapping thing was fine. It was just like for them getting to that point, I didn't see
They
much
could have
dancing
put
there.
something else in that to
Yeah.
fill that
They
void.
maybe could have like done a spin or
Yeah.
something. It was just kind of like they were walking.
I mean, then
Yeah.
afterwards they turned into their rainbowness. They were doing some butt spins, not backspin. They were
Some booty spin.
They were,
It's
a butt spin.
Spin that booty.
Look, it's not a breakdance thing. They were just literally on their butt spinning. So okay, I'm just throwing that out there.
That was in tribute to J.Lo, of course.
Of course, yeah, of course. I honestly I wasn't blown away by this dance. I thought it was all right. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I just thought it was okay. So I guess did you guys want anything else you want to talk about with these crews?
Well, I did want to say I got the opportunity to interview Electrolytes last.
Before we do that, I think we should talk about our interviews after we come back from the break. I just meant like for this
yeah.
specific
Okay,
dancing.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and cut to break. But when we come back, we'll talk about our favorite crews, our predictions for what's coming, and some of the interviews we did because they didn't really get fully posted. So we can talk about what happened when we were behind the scenes on Friday.
Can't wait to listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, John Comerford here. I've got my Mad Men with me.
Kevin Undergaro.
Phil Svitek. For all you fans of Mad Men, we're your AfterBuzz TV hosts of Mad Men. Every Sunday right after the show, 9:30, we're breaking down the episode.
You can also check us out on iTunes and YouTube the following morning.
We're going to get into the imagery, the symbolism, the structure. We give you all the information on Mad Men that the other podcasts out there don't.
Very insightful. You're gonna love it. Check us out.
Please.
Hello, everybody. We are the LA Complex crew, and we are here with Andre Fuller from the LA Complex, who plays Caldrick King. And you can catch LA Complex every Tuesday night on the CW at 9 o'clock. After that, come to our AfterBuzz TV show where we do a recap of the LA Complex. We talk about Raquel, we talk about sex tapes, we talk about relationships, and you can catch us live at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, AfterBuzzTV.com. If you can't catch us live, go ahead and swing over to YouTube the next day. You can rate, you can comment, watch us. iTunes, same thing, download, rate, comment, and we would love to hear your feedback, and we love to support, guys, so please, please, please support us, and support the LA Complex. Buzz you later!
Guys, this is the AfterBuzz TV crew for The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Woo! Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. to see
Adrienne Barrow,
Deanna Vaughn,
Susan Hahn,
Giselle Ugardi.
Buzz you later!
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
I want to buzz about the fact that that's a new commercial for us, and I like it because they're not calling people loners and they're not calling people jerk coworkers because I always like my coworkers. So I like this new commercial.
Right.
Thanks, AfterBuzz. Thanks, AfterBuzz. Let's all pat ourselves on the back. So Guest365 on the live chat had a question for all of us, and she wants to know. I believe it's a she. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
He's
who
hoping.
this season's top 6 is? Who we think this season's top of the top 6, or who we think of the season's top 6 is the best? I guess now top 5, because she thinks it's difficult because a lot of them are so good. Who do we
Yeah.
think is the best? Because there's so many good crews right now.
I mean, I think we've got a great dilemma on our hands because we can't actually really pick one right now because they're all doing so good.
Yeah, they
I've
are
got
doing really well.
some ideas.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
For
Who
me,
do you think then, Dave?
For me, I think the ones who's had the most performances I really liked and thought killed it was Electrolytes. I think Electrolytes is my favorite crew at the moment. I think they're the best. I think the first performance they had, where they had the different elements of the piano or the keyboard that they were doing with their legs, that was really cool. And they keep on bringing interesting elements into the show or into their performances that are really cool for me, and I think have been awesome. I just like the differences that they're throwing out there, and they've shown that they can dance, and they've shown they can do tricks, and they've shown they can do choreo. I like them the most so far, I would say.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
If I would have to pick one, it probably would be Rated Next Generation. I just really like how they pulled all the different dances together, and they really gave me a lot of fierceness this week.
Yeah. I think overall they've been doing great.
Yeah, I thought I had a top 3, and then I turned my page. I was like, wait, they're good too. That's
how I am too.
Well,
I
let's
don't
get this
know.
straight. They're all good, but
Yeah,
you have to
right.
choose. There can only be one.
I
There can
can't
only be
choose
one.
right now.
You
Just
have
for
to.
this week.
You have to
This
choose.
week.
Who do you think
For
right now?
this episode.
Not for this episode. Overall, who do you think is the best, or who's gonna win? Just guess. You have to guess. Who do you think is gonna win?
Electrolytes.
Electrolytes. All right. And what about you, Ashley?
Well,
You get to go last, so you have time to think.
and I know, and I can't think of just one, but
You have to.
Okay, so Electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
There we go.
I will say when I talked to Collision Crew, they thought 8 Flavors was the crew to watch out for.
And that's who
I
that's who I was going to say. But I think that if it was between Electrolytes and 8 Flavors, I think that Electrolytes would step up to the competition.
I agree with
Even though they're both really, really good crews, it's just
Yeah.
so hard to decide. I have to go with I have to go with the boys. I'm sorry, 8 Flavors. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
I had to go with you. Of course.
Of course. Okay, and something else Guest 365 was talking about. She also agrees that Fanny Pack is weird that they return, and thought it would be cool if they had an all-star season of America's Best Dance Crew where they bring back the Eliminated Crews. What do you guys think of that idea?
I agree
That
with
would
that.
have been
That'd
good.
be awesome.
That's where they should have saved Fanny Pack for,
Yes,
probably.
I think so.
Yeah, I think there's been like members though that go to a new crew that actually have come back, but we just don't point it out because it's a brand new crew. Like I think from one of the guys from Most Wanted is actually from another crew that competed in a previous season.
Interesting. I never.
Who would he choose if they ended up being on an all-star show? I think that's a great idea, so I would love to see that.
All-Star.
You heard it here first
All-star,
from Guest 365. Your
All-Star.
idea, but you heard it here first. So that would be awesome. I'd love to see that. So before we get into predictions for who we think might be on the bottom next week, let's talk about what it was like being on set.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You know
I'm
what?
excited.
It's really good watching it on the big screen when it's when the episode is all done and cut. But I have to say, the energy when you're there is even bigger than it is when you're watching it on TV.
It's electrolytes.
It's amazing with the applause, the audience, everybody's excited. It's just an amazing energy that's in that room, in that studio.
Yeah, and we get to be right next to the stage, so it's like we hear and see. Well, not necessarily see, but we hear everything, and we can just feel that energy. It's amazing.
Yeah, let's get it straight. We weren't on the we weren't actually at the viewing platform, that circle. We were a little backstage media area.
The green room.
It's a little different. Yeah, it's the green room for the media. So that's where we were. So we weren't actually on stage, but we could hear the energy coming from it as they were pumping up the crowd and doing all this stuff. So it was definitely awesome to hear, and it was cool getting to talk to some of the crews. I talked to Collision Crew, as I said, and they were all really cool guys, really friendly, super friendly. I'm sure all the crews are super friendly.
Yeah. Yes.
And actually, Ashley got a chance to talk to them too after the interview, and she did her own interview too with Electrolytes.
Yes, and they were amazing. I love them. They're all they had high energy, and I know that they said that one of the people that inspires them as far as dancing is Michael Jackson, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's inspiring.
Yeah.
Just a little inspired.
I think they were saying Fred Astaire too.
Weird choice. Actually, something with that I want to point out, they had a little singing in the rain moment during their dance. I don't know if anyone knows, but he did a little kick from Singing in the Rain.
Oh yeah, I saw that. But I thought of Wizard of Oz though when they
I was thinking Singing in the Rain.
going down the yellow brick road.
Yellow brick road.
But what about you, Sarah? Because sadly there wasn't much of the Fanny Pack interview in the package, but I want to hear, what were they like? What did they say?
Yeah, they're just amazing, high energy, positive people in that group. And they were just, when I was talking to them, we were talking about how the fact that they're back for this season, and they were just so excited about it. They're ready to bring it this season. They're hoping that they're not going to have to go home like they did before.
Yeah. And Oh, I'm sorry. I interviewed Tiffany Grant, who was a member of Fanny Pack from second season. So I got to talk to her about her experience dancing with them. And unfortunately, she's not on this season because she's pursuing a degree in the medical field. So she had to, she set it out. But she was there, and she has nothing but good things to say about them. So it's really
you
cool.
can dance and be smart.
Yes.
Right?
We had it was funny though because I had a little like blast from the past when I was interviewing Fanny Pack because one of the crew members, the cute little Asian girl Kara, she went to University of Hawaii. Where I went.
No way!
Yeah, she was a dancer for the dance team there at the college, and I was like, I remember you.
No way! That's great. Something that I want to talk about, who I got to talk to, was the creator of America's Best Dance Crew. He also founded Hip Hop International, which is they started America's Best Dance Crew. He actually did it with his wife. They created Hip Hop International together, and then they went ahead and got America's Best Dance Crew started. And I was asking him why America's Best Dance Crew got on TV, whereas something like for B-Boys, Red Bull BC1 is not. I was really curious about that, why they were able to get it on. He said it was really hard, and the reason that they were able to get America's Best Dance Crew on is because they incorporated the elements of using popular music video artists and all that, and that's really the reason they were able to sell to the TV networks, is because of that element. So I thought that was really cool to hear how he was able to pitch it and get it started, whereas like there's so many other dancing and hip-hop things that go on all the time, and performances and competitions. How did this one get started? And he said it took them years and years of pitching, and just finally to get the fact of like, okay, we have to get celebrities on, we have to get stars on, that's how we're going to bring in an audience.
Yeah.
Is he himself a dancer? Do you know, or does he just have like a love for it?
You know what? He didn't tell me, and that's a good question I should have asked. Thanks for making me look like a terrible interviewer.
Hey, we'll see him next weekend.
Yes.
Let's find out.
I actually had the experience to be in the crowd. I used to be one of the girls behind the judges.
What? So tell us what that was like.
I mean, I was there when the Jabberwockies were there. I mean, and like Super Crew, everything. And I mean, the energy that you're in, when you're in it, it's crazy. Like the energy levels are just bouncing off the walls. Like, it's insanity, and it's just awesome, like, seeing the dancers right there. Like, we have the best seats in the entire house. Just right there, seeing it face to face. It's amazing.
This is all I have to say about that. It's just this.
Sarah Crew?
Super Crew.
Sarah Crew.
Super Crew.
Sarah Crew.
Yeah!
We got Marissa.
Marissa in the booth doing the Super Crew. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's go on then to talk about our predictions for next week. Who do you guys think will be in the bottom? Who do you guys think are the top? Yes.
And now,
you guys might not like me after my opinion.
I'm fine with that. We have difference of opinions. That's why we're all on the show.
Just saying.
I'll go ahead and start us off, I guess. My favorite crew, and I guess this is, I'm assuming, was probably not. My favorite crew of the day of the night was Electrolytes, even though I did want to see them do that whole moving train subway thing a little bit more. I thought their dancing was the best. They incorporated the canes really well, which we forgot to talk about. Everything they did in their dancing was awesome to me. All the choreo was great, all the tricks were great, all the dancing was great. It was completely on point. They were constantly moving. There was never a dull moment. I thought they were great. I think the bottom for me, if I had to think about it, was probably... Dang, I didn't really look at my notes. I think it was probably Most Wanted Crew, potentially. Which
So
I'd say my bottom was either Most Wanted Crew or... Fanny Pack, I think.
So those are the ones that you think that will go next week?
I think not that will. I think they'll be in the bottom. Well, because it's hard to say because they have their dance where they can be saved. But I think either Fanny Pack or Most Wanted Crew will be in the bottom next week.
Okay.
Or they'll be the bottom too. That would be my guess. What do you guys think?
All right. I feel as the Flavas, the girls.
Flavas.
I feel like they might be in the bottom just because all these other crews just have so many different elements. Even though they do, I just feel like they always stick to one thing, is like the flips and like the cheerleader kind of feel. Like, I just definitely, I have a feeling they're going to be in the bottom. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
The best though this week, I really loved Rated Next Generation. So I feel like they're going to go far in the competition.
For me this week, my favorite for this episode is Electrolytes. So I think they're going to be in the top. In my opinion, I thought they were all good, but if I had to pick two for the bottom two, it would be RNG.
Oh,
Sorry.
really?
Yeah, RNG and Fanny Pack's always there, so maybe them again. Even though they're both good.
Sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both good, but I think they're gonna be there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think RNG is going to be in the bottom next week. I just wasn't really that impressed as far as the other crews in comparison to them. I'm just, wasn't that impressed. But as far as my top, I'm still stuck between 8 Flavors or Electrolytes. I cannot choose. And the thing that put 8 Flavors on, they were always on my map because I just love them. But the thing that really, really put them on the map per se is their Madonna performance. I absolutely loved it. And it just showed me so many possibilities that they could possibly bring to the table. So it's either 8 Flavors or Electrolytes top.
I mean, I like Most Wanted Crew a lot, and I thought the top camera they had was really cool. And then Rated Next Generation is tough for me because like I said, I don't know those styles of dancing.
Yeah.
And they could have been doing the best possible version of all that stuff, and I'm just not sure. So the fact that they were mixing up so much is hard for me to say. But that does it for this week's show, guys. I think next week we'll probably have a special guest in again, so we'll let you know. We'll tweet about it. Check us on Twitter.
Stay tuned for
And
that.
speaking of which, I am Dave Klein. You can find me on Twitter at @TheDaveKlein. That's KLEIN. Or my website, djk-online.com.
And I am Ashley Gray. You can always find me on Twitter at TweetNinaMarie. That's TweetNinaMarie.
And I'm Nicolette Gaona. You can find me at Nicolette Gaona, Gaona on Twitter.
And Sarah Mendoza here. My Twitter handle is at Sarah Mendoza, SarahMendoza.
You can also always check out AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV, their Twitter.
And iTunes. Search us on
Wait,
iTunes.
let's not forget Ronnie Jr. in the booth.
Ronnie!
You're being too charitable. At Ronnie Jr. Media if you want to tweet with me about this great show. I think it's a much better show. The J.Lo thing, I'm into it. I like it. You guys did good.
I thought this whole night was awesome. This was one of my favorite nights overall of all the dances. I thought this was on point. The whole night was great. Yeah.
We can't wait to hear from you guys too with your comments.
Please comment. Please rate us, even if it's bad. But don't
No
bad
stuff.
See you guys next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.